Alright, we're going to move over on the mill. And what I have in here is I have a block that I have a 20-degree ramp milled on it. Parallel. Stop. So I can put this ramp block in on top of that parallel and up against that stop so it doesn't scooch away from us. And here's the fixture that we made. I got a part in it, and what I did was loosen it up if I can. I had it in there pretty tight. I put that away. I had another parallel here. I had a parallel, and I just put across it and pushed that part up against it. And then tighten her down. So that the top surface is flush with the top of our fixture, because that we're coming off of this tooling ball, which is locating on that top of this fixture. It's located, this tooling ball is actually located from the top of this fixture, and this side of this, on the back side, it's actually located off of this bore and the top of this fixture. So what we want to do is we want to put this in here, but we want to have it in there in such a way that we can get at this cap screw to load the next part. So we want to make sure that we have that up high enough. And hopefully I can get a part in and out. It shouldn't be squeezing too much on that. So let's just check it and see. I might have to go and take a cut across the sides if I can't. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. So that means I'm going to have to take it, undercut this a little bit. Either that or raise it up that way some more. Doesn't have to be in the, it's not going to be hogging a lot of material, so I can take and push that up a little ways. Nope. Okay. Another way would be to put another stop right there so that I could load the part and then put it in. That's probably what I'll do. I will take, it's not going to hit this stop, it's going to go up and over it, so I'm going to put another stop right there. Just going to put another stop right there. These stops are very handy. They come in handy for a lot of different things. And when I started into trade, back when I think I was 18 or 19, that was one of the first things I made for myself, is that stop. Alright, so now that's over against it, and we'll just come up and slide up here and touch that stop. First we'll get the part back to where it belongs. Put the parallel across, push it up against. Lock the part in so it doesn't move. We'll see if this repeats. I'm going to take it in and out a couple times just to make sure. Okay, one other thing, I'm going to put a spring in here to push that block, the ramp block up tight against. I don't know, I think that one might be a little much. I usually use them between parallels. That one's too short. Another thing that you could use for holding your parallels apart is just regular metal packing strap. Just bend it into like a W and put it in there, and that'll hold your parallels up tight against the jaws. I've used that a few times. What I'll do is I will, can't do that. I'm thinking, I don't have a spring here the right, wait a minute, I got a box of springs over here somewhere. This came from my father-in-law's stuff. There's a few springs in here. I want one that's fairly heavy and long enough. Everything but. Not long enough. Kind of flimsy. I'll keep looking. I've got a drawer of springs over here too. And right down here. This one might work. Put that one back. Yes, it will. That'll hold that back up against there. So it's a nice solid setup. So I don't have to have 3 hands to hold everything. All right. And this is up on. And all right, I will put that up against, and I will dial it in, and then I will take it out and put it back in, and we'll see if it repeats. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we got the spring in there holding that. We've got this up against. I've got to make sure I push down on the ramp and then slide it up. Lock it. Now I'm going to dial that in. I'm going to dial the spherical ball in. I guess all balls are spherical, right? All right, I just kind of, all right, and I'm just trying to get it to where it's kind of centered over it. All right. Zero. Not even close. 0. Oh, now we're getting close. We're at 7. 3. Put it on 3.5. Right there. 0. 0. Let's get this on 0. 0. 0. 0. Okay, we're dialed in. I'm gonna put this on absolute. 0 out my readouts. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. I'm gonna take this block out, wave it at you. Then I'm gonna put it back in there. And we'll come back down on this. Back down on the ball. And we'll see if it repeats. If it loads in the same spot every time. Alright, let's 0 it. 0. 0. 0. It repeated. Alright, so that's a good thing. Alright. So now we're over the ball. At 0, 0. And we're sitting like this, so the distance from here over to the is 736 thousandths. All right. $736. All right. And then from the ball up to that is 3 inches, or 1 inch 350. 1 inch. That puts us on the center line of this, of the head. $350. All right. Somehow that doesn't look right. I'll show you what I mean. I have a dimension somewhere that isn't correct. See what I mean? I'm out on the edge. Oh. I went to the wrong, I'm going to the back side. I actually don't need that dimension. It's this dimension right here that I need, which is 52 thousandths only. I'll crank it back to 52. $51, $52, right there. Yeah, it looks more like it. Right there. That's the spot. Yeah, it's 52 on both sides. Yep. So when we go to do the other side and flip it the other way, it's 52. Alright, so that'll allow me to drill this. Then when I want to do the other side, I cannot. Oh, I can have a double setup, or a double set point. So I'll do it like that. And this is in the center of everything. So when I go like this, and turn it this way. It's too bad that that isn't in the center also, but it's not. It couldn't be. The only thing I'll have to change is my Y. And I can figure that out by just taking and dialing in the ball again, and then I'll know the dimension from there to there when it's clamped in the vise, locating on the other side. Following me? Sometimes I get... Alright, so I'll get my indicator out here. And we know sideways we know on X it's alright. It should be. We'll see here in a second. Alright, crank this in. And I'll come down and I'll come up against the ball. And we'll zero it. We didn't get much snow so far out of this big snowstorm that there. Alright, put this on the 0. Nope, it's not. It's not the same. So, what I'll need to do is, okay, I can do one in incremental, and then when I switch to this backside, I'll just, or absolute on the front, and I'll go incremental on the back. I know this indicator had more than one set point that you could use, but I'm not exactly sure how to use that. 0, and it's going way beyond. Oh, actually it's not touching there. There, it's just touching. Zero. Bear with me. I'm 0. All right, now we're within 6/7 thou again, 3.5. 3.5. And set that at 0. Set that at 0. Zero, 0, 1. We are 1 thou off. 0. Yep. There's 0. And I know the ball is spherical, so I don't have to check the backside. If I get the two sides and then put the front in the same. All right, there's where we're at. Now that's an incremental. Now if I write that down, then if I go to that number every time in incremental, I should be able to do this side in incremental, the other side in absolute, right? Am I right? I hope so. I'll have to figure out how far to move. So it's 1 inch 350. I'll have to calculate, I don't know why, 1 inch 350. Or I can zero it there on incremental. Yep, I should be able to zero it there on incremental. Now I'll go 1 inch 350. And that'll put me, and then the 25. But now, if I go back to absolute, well, let's put it back in incremental. Let's take it out and then make sure it repeats on this side also, just like it did on the other side. Here it is. And we'll put it in there. Slide it up. Tighten it. Still at 0. Yep. It repeats. So, now let's go back to the absolute, flip it around, go to the numbers and make sure that I'm not all wet here. I was thinking that there was a chip on there, but it's just a center punch hole or whatever. All right. So now we go back to 0 here. And then 0 on X. Okay. Tooling ball should be 0. We're centered. Dialed in. We're off. Either we're off or I move my indicator. 0. Make sure the ball's down all the way. It's repeating within 1,000ths. So that should be plenty good enough. As long as I do the valve guide hole and the valve cage or the valve, the counterboard part of it, all in one setup. So I'm going to leave that just the way it sits for now, and I will be back at it tomorrow, and we'll see if we can't get at least the valve holes in. Once I get the valve holes in, or the valve guide holes in, I'll put some pins in, line it up on those pins, and then I'll mill the flats for the ports on the sides. And then once I do that, oh no, nope, I don't want to do that yet. I want to get the valve guides in, or valve holes and valve guides in. I want to get the, then I'm going to take it, yeah, it is. Yes, I do want to mill those flats next. After I get these, I put the pins in, line it up square, mill the flats for the ports. Plus, at the same time, if I can find a cutter, mill the fins. So I'm going to cut away here and call it a day, and then I'm going to go look for a cutter before I quit and see if I have to make a cutter I do have a little chunk of A2 which would work, or I'll think of something. Either that or I'll have to order cutter. But I think it's either 40 or 35. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Here's the full drawing. They are 7 fins, 150 deep, and just says 7 fins, 150 deep. It's not telling me the size. I got to sit and calculate that out. Well, if nothing else, I'll get it done. I'll go look at my CAD model. I'll look at the CAD model and see. Yeah, see, on across the top it's 21 fins, 250 deep. At the same time, I also have, when I flip it up the other way, that and the counter bores. All right, well, I'm gonna go look to see what size those fins are, and then look for a cutter. And I'll be back tomorrow at it. I'm gonna go get a video ready to upload. So I'll be back later.